Hello everybody, this is Gabis Games, and welcome back to Crossout 101. And today we will be covering why armor is really important to the game, because there seems to be a little bit of confusion to why would you even use that much armor, because you're gonna lose health when you get shot anyways. So I kind of prepared this thing here, and I'm gonna build a Leviathan to shoot at with this thing. So I got a Scorpion and a Tsunami Cannon, and those will be two really overkill means of showing what I mean. Because, yeah, literally overkill. Like, we're just a cabin. You got a base health, for example, 250 on the Gurilla. And basically, what happens if you just shoot it, it's gonna be just pretty obviously. It's gonna just die in one shot. Because I will do more than 250 damage. However, as you can see, I only got a 250 damage marker, while at the same time, while I shoot here, I got 329. Basically, if you destroy an item, but you have excess damage, that means that the excess damage will be lost, and that's where armor comes in. Because, let's say for example, this little piece right here. Oh, oops. Gotta drive up a little bit. That's how I'll be shooting that part. Remember the number 329 there? Just gonna reload here. 14. Bit of a lower number, isn't it? That's basically what armor does. If this part right here is 14 durability, and it adds 14 to the total health of the vehicle. But if it shuts off, you will lose 14 health, basically. But that 14 health can take a lot more damage. So for example, especially with weapons like a tsunami or a scorpion, and I did it again. If you try to add some frontal armor, actually I think I'll need a slightly bigger profile plate, because I'm not sure if I'll accurately hit that from a distance. There we go. You will display it on top. I'll still do that almost full damage, because in case of a scorpion, you got armor penetrating ability, and with explosive weapons, whee, flying part, you also got that extra damage. So basically, explosive weapons have, when they hit something, have a 3x3 damage box. So let's say the center of this cube, so at this angle, at this point, and then at this center point, is where the cannon hits. Then you get this in shape of damage. So if you got one block here and it hits right here, it will take this as center block, and it will have a 3x3 damage profile inside the quantum, basically, and will do extra damage. That's basically how cannons work. So if you want to negate that damage to a way lower amount, you will have to take something like this and then put that plate further away. Going back here. This will still not protect against a scorpion, but against a tsunami, I'm just actually gonna triple charge it for a second, and to make it even more obvious, even the triple charge, that will deal, I'm gonna show you guys in a second against that thing, but it deals a lot of damage. I got 68 damage off the thing, but it still did a little bit of explosive damage by the looks of it, so it's gonna take a second. You guys remember the numbers, hopefully, or just go back and pause the video. Because, well, I kind of lost the numbers for a second there. But if you see, when I got triple charge, that's a bit of a higher number. And we might even be able to neglect all the damage, because remember, this thing is only a 60 health piece. And this thing dealt over 400 damage in that single shot. So, again, going for the triple charge. This takes a little while, sadly. You notice almost, you notice a very small amount of damage. Just, just this little plate can take such a big shell, and it becomes even more apparent if you try to take something like, Neon Santa. Sitting at only 17 health. Oh, dang it. Only 17 health, but still capable of eating a shell with Tsunami. As you can see, it eats it. So now for the Tsunami, for the Scorpion, which might be handy for people either doing Clan Wars or high tier gameplay overall. Its damage profile is a bit simpler, I would say. Basically, if you hit a part directly like this, it will have a damage pattern 8 long inwards. At the angle it is fired at. So if it's fired at this angle, it will go 8 blocks inwards like this. So what does this mean is that if you have something like this, and let's grab a little hazard generator here, and 4, 7, and then the plate. Drive a bit. Gotta align a little bit because I might just miss otherwise. Oh, I think I'm. I think I missed the generator. Wait 1 second. I'm gonna grab a scope. Neutrino allows me to see where I'm aiming at. I think I'm doing something wrong here. Wait, that thing actually has like, yeah, that thing has a 1 block thickness. That's why. 1 second. Yeah, because this thing is 1 block thick, it actually made it exactly 8 long. That's actually exactly 8 long. So, yeah, my bad there. There we go. Going right through and hitting the generator. So basically, if you want to protect against a scorpion, if you have a generator, you want to have it like at least 8 blocks in between that thing and the actual extent of your armor. So a bit like this. And, well, this will just like even make it better, because that will allow it to eat shots. And I actually haven't even, like, I have another example on that, because how ridiculous it can be. So I'm gonna load up the build I did use the other day, the Scorpion Hopper. And I'll show you guys what happens if I'm just hitting the cabin on its own, how many shots it will take. Hit there. 4 shots at most. But, as you can see, I got a lot of space armor on here. What happens if I just hit that? So 2 blocks. 3, 4. 6. Like, it's still protected, kind of. Know that I'm purposely hitting the items right now, but it's like not doing anything. Just taking the hits and laughing at me. Slowly getting pushed away, actually. Only now it lose protection. That part right there is actually to take explosive hits, not a actual scorpion hit, because now I can actually take out the hovers, and actually that one missed the hover. Like, it's still really dangerous. And I might be able to show. There we go. Let's see if I can actually. That actually hit the generator, I think. Because of the armor penetration, you went actually right through the cabin and hit the Apollo underneath. But, like, this thing can even take mammoth shots. Like, let's see if I can actually, like, take a AI and, like, have it fire mammoth shots at this thing. Because AI, of course, doesn't necessarily aim at specific parts. Oop, gotta go to movement here. And then the mammoth. Just take a normal. And then we go into test drive. I have to get a little bit close before it gets radar confirmation, but it should start firing in a second. Of course, losing his first shot because these things are horrible with first shots. He didn't hit. He did another one. Let's take it from this angle now. Take another hit. And now it might be just because I cannot. This thing doesn't turn. Damn. Because like it can take so many hits without actually losing its hovers. Even though it still has enough hovers. Those are 8 shots of mammoths. Only now it loses his gun, and probably next shot will be a kill shot. There we go. So even though this thing only has 840 health on its own, and especially if you hit the generator and get to explode, like this thing can get up to 399 and instantly be a kill. Because if you actually destroy this thing, 450 damage actually, it might survive actually, but if it detonates the ammo packs, it's also possible. Then those will explode and chain redirect, and then the cabin will be destroyed. So it's possible to like kill this thing in like in just a few shots. Let's try it here. I have to probably get directly on the side here in order to hit one of the ammo packs. Okay, that one is armor. And bad hit. Hmm. 3 hits, but it still survives. Well, at the same time, if you just like this thing, if I would, let's say if I would put this thing away and fill this with some small ammo packs. Small ammo packs have a pretty small health pool. But you would say they would be protected underneath the tracks, right? Let's try to hit them with Scorpion here. Well, they would be protected against explosives, but I don't think they will be protected against Scorpions. So, there we go. Right through. Instant kill. That's just really important. So overall, space armoring can be really handy. However, like, in general, like, getting one plate is overall the smartest with, like, taking explosive damage. Let's take another example here. Gonna take, let's take this thing away here. 1 second. Still sick, so I gotta cough again. Thank you. Stuff's killing me. Gotta have you lifting here. Let's quickly build something, I guess. And I will actually need a Xenia cannon for this to test this properly. But I will. One sec, guys. Thanks. Take 2 examples for armor. How will do? How I'll do this actually. I don't think this will actually work. Let's build a platform actually underneath this thing. This should be enough. Put this thing a little bit back. And then get back tsunami cannon. And then start with armor. So I got 2 examples, like I could say compare. And I'm gonna expose, like, push them a little bit out here. Bit like that. So with a cannon, I could like explain this the easiest way. This compared to a lot of small parts, I would say. It's the best comparison. So basically gonna compare this to this. And I'm also actually gonna grab a little machine gun. Spectre. It's a good example for the second thing. But at first, drive this out here. So when I shoot the big part, get 141 damage off, and I shoot it off in one go. Staying on the move so the gun doesn't charge and doesn't change damage parameters. And this might be 87 actually. Those things have actually, but I think those things have yeah, those have a lower shared health pool. As you can see, like it shot off a lot of parts in one go, but it had very little chance to overkill. And like, actually, this will be even more obvious as I do it like this and grab some more of these slopes. That should do it, actually. Put some on top here. So yeah, because that thing had such high health, that's a little bit of a bad example, but the one and the one together with the other 2 parts, I guess. But like you can get, essentially get the 60 damage, and it's 136, and it shoots off a whole bunch of parts. Because when the explosive hits multiple small parts, it will deal damage to all of the parts and have a very little chance to overkill one single part. In comparison to machine guns, like, when you hit a small part for, because like this thing does like 8 damage, actually I think I have to go to 10 charge here. So 12 damage per shot, and that means that I can just poke every single part and take them out one by one. And that will be pretty efficient because I will do very little extra damage. But in comparison, like the one big part, the one big part, I can like focus fire on it pretty efficiently. And when I like the 12 damage per shot against the 60 in this case would be perfect because 60 like of course it will take 5 shots exactly to kill this campus roof. But let's say it will be 61, so it will do up to not like 11 extra damage because like it has 1 health left and then you shoot it with a 12 damage projectile. That's basically what happens with one big part. So like that will be a total of 11 excess damage. But these are 5 health parts. All of these already have 7 a piece of extra damage, like that they accessed absorbed. That did not go into the cabin's damage. So that would be 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42 damage already. And 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52. You know, you get it a little bit. Like this would be 30 health right here. But because of like everything, these 12, these 30 health can effectively absorb um the 30, like the 30 plus that 42, that would be 72 damage. 72 damage for 30 part health. Part thing next. Actually, let's find something that has 30 health. Uh Actually, let's sort by durability. Uh 20, 25, 28, 29, 30. Exactly 30. So I'm gonna charge up the gun by simply shooting some parts right here. So 1, 2, 3 shots. The last one is 7. So basically there was 24 of the first 2 shots, and this was 6 or 7 in this case. Bit of random numbers here, I guess. 6 more damage into the part. So that means the excess damage was 6. So this part right here saved me for 6 damage. Because like the 30 still went through into the cabin because you lost the part. But as long as you don't lose the part, actually it still has a 30 extra health. So let's say I would shoot this thing for 29. The part did add 30 health to the cabin, but because it's still on the right, it still has a 30 cabin health. Because even though this part has 1 health, the 30 health is fully present. Once only if it gets shot off, so it reaches 0 health, only then the 30 damage, like the 30 health, is lost. So basically, if you can get a lot of parts that are with high health that get shot down to a very low health without getting shot off, then you basically can absorb a lot of damage without getting destroyed. And that's basically so really big parts. But if you seem to die a lot by machine guns and you have a lot of parts, try to get a lot more small parts, because small parts will do like the overkill extra damage absorption, because that 7 damage on this single part here is lost. It's fully lost. Because the machine guns do not have armor penetration or whatever. So the damage is fully lost. You're not very part efficient, but you are pretty well protected against specters or are like machine guns, and basically anything that's not explosive. So basically machine guns, the minigun. I still think Reaper, if I'm not mistaken, is still high explosive. Shotguns, extra protection against those. Guess Aurora as well. Uh, and well, I guess Scorpions, I guess. If you can make it hit only that small part, it will hit that super high health damage projected for just 5. That would be amazing. Also, just like drones, I guess, like the normal rare ones, also like have machine guns. So you can protect yourself a little bit better against those if you use a lot of small parts. But again, like you need a lot of like you need a pretty high part limit to do that, because, well, just like this little piece right here, for hit for 30, like it costs 6 parts, and this is 30 for 1 part. So this is a lot more part efficient. And basically that's just something you have to pick between. If you notice your build die a lot by cannons, I suggest like getting some space armor and putting some large parts on there. So like again, like get at least a little bit of distance from all of your important stuff, including wheels, by the way, or other movement, and then just put something large on there to like catch the cannon shot. If you tend to die a lot by machine guns, put a lot of small parts around your cabin. You could combine it by having like a lot of small parts around your cabin, then have an empty space and then have a big parts around it. But then you would it basically requires you to get shot by cannons first and then by machine guns after that. Or you do it vice versa, and then you need to get hit by machine guns first and then by cannons. But I would say because cannons have such a high damage output at a single burst. I mean, if I just go up here, I can fire at this guy and go back into cover. And because I'm into cover, he cannot return fire. So I would say like cannons are more important to protect against machine guns, because if a machine gun wants to damage you, it has to be like out this, and he cannot protect himself or like to return fire only with speed. So that's why cannon builds kind of have the burst damage advantage compared to machine guns. Because just getting out, shoot, and getting back into cover is just a really efficient way. Especially with, again, tsunamis is the perfect example, because you just get into cover, and while reloading, you charge up. Just wait a little bit longer to get that extremely high triple charge burst damage, shoot, and get back to cover, and you just have like a fire rate of 3 shots per minute to 4 shots per minute, which is fine. But you just have to like take that into consideration. I guess cannons or like other heavy weapons can be a little bit of armor, but don't stress it, because even though like a tsunami has 750 health, 750 health can still be shot off. Like, I would just shoot this thing. 350. There we go. Shot off. Didn't take too long. Probably could have done it more efficiently, especially if you have like 2 tsunamis, I guess. Would be a good example as well. I'm not sure if this thing will flip, but just gonna charge up a little. Actually, let's get closer and then charge. Want to get the guns probably on the single target. Just gonna wait a little bit for the charge. And there we go. Hit for 800 and instantly shot off the gun. And that's just like an example of like how burst damage can affect, especially guns. Because unlike the Tsunami, Spectre only has 135 health. That means that if you have like 3 of them spaced out, and like one cannon hit can just hit 2 of them with an explosive, and the other one hits the front one. For example, if you like triangle like 2 in the back, 1 in front, and like one of these hits the front one and the other one hits one of the rear ones, and they're close enough to take damage together, you might get the gun in one go. So, especially with like lower health guns, protect your guns at all cost. Because again, like even if you have 4,000 health, if you cannot shoot back, you cannot kill the enemy. Only like meat grinders, I guess, or stuff like that is a little bit of an exception, but that's still not really a great way of damage. Shift wheels, I guess, work too, but again, not really that great. So, protect your guns as well. Get some, like, try to get some armor a little bit away from it. There are to catch some shots, but that actually might, of course, in return, might limit firing angles. So, most of the time, you're just gonna put them behind the cabin and have the cabin eat the shells, because the cabin is a great way to eat shells. Even though the cabin will not like it when he has to eat shells, it still does the job. So I hope this helps a little bit more with people understanding armor. So basically, again, in short, like build your build and playtest it. And if you get killed by a lot of cannons, try to add some spaced armor. If you get killed with a lot of machine guns, try to add some small compact armor. And you just have to find a little bit of balance in between those two. Overall, cannons are more dominating into games because, again, for burst damage or whatever. But machine guns can still do quite a bit of damage. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys!